Hey, everybody. Welcome to Don't Make Me Come Back There. We are a funny podcast about family. My name is Dustin Nickerson. I'm a stand-up comedian and the host of the aforementioned podcast. And alongside me in a state-of-the-art recording studio, not in San Diego, but in Nashville, Tennessee, is my lovely wife, my co-host, my CFO, and overall great gal, Melissa Nickerson.
Hi there.
How are you, Mel?
I'm great.
I like your shirt.
I'm great.
You kind of got like 90s McDonald's vibes, kind of play place vibes.
Yes.
I like it. It's a good look. And alongside Melissa, because today is a very special day of Don't Make Me Come Back There, is 3/4 of the crew of Nateland. So
yes.
It's wild. Nate,
it's a lot.
Brian Bates, Aaron, Josephus Weber.
You come out of the gate hot.
I know. I told this was like the big adjustment was like we come out real. We're like above a coffee shop in La Mesa.
Yep,
we get
like
caffeinated.
buzzing.
We get our kids off to school, and we like. I think it's like when you're doing a bad gig and you have to throw like you do an hour worth of material in about 20 minutes.
Yeah.
That's the pace we run on our
Yeah.
So there's people who listen to Nateland right now. They're like, I don't like any of this.
We can't even keep up with you.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what he's saying.
I know.
That is nothing's worse than when you do a show. That's one of those that I guess if people understood comedy, or if you could feel comedy, to feel that, you can do an hour worth of material in 25 minutes.
Yeah, this is fun. We have a segment on our podcast called Dustin's Comedy Corner, the DCC, where every once in a while we just apologize to the audience for talking about something that I know bores them.
Yeah.
But there's always like a small segment of the population who wants that.
Yeah.
But the majority of the population has no idea that you're like, no, sometimes you got to do this bad gig, for like 20 people. And you're like, they're like, you got to do an hour.
Yeah.
You look down your clock, you're like 11 minutes.
Oh.
And you're looking your norm like, this is usually the halfway marker.
Yeah. This weekend, I forgot something out of an order, and I was hidden like stuff about my parents, and I was like, golly, it was like 27 minutes, 30 minutes. And I'm like already in it. I'm like, I think I should be winding down.
Yeah.
And then I did figure out I left a whole chunk out. So then I got to figure out how to get it back in.
Yeah.
So it doesn't just look like I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Well, we're happy. Look, we're honored we have started a podcast network, the Nateland Podcast Network, and you guys are our first podcast that we have on the network.
Thank you,
and we're super pumped about it.
Yeah, we're honored to be a part of it.
We're big fans. Known you guys forever, and Dustin, you've been out with us, and you guys are killing it. And I think you fit very well. You obviously fit very well into the world that we are doing, and so thanks for having us on your first podcast. Yes. Dusty refused. He's just standing right behind the camera.
I only have one Dustin with glasses. I can't be associated with another.
Can't have two.
No,
can't have two. Dusty would be his flight. Big flight stuff this week.
Bad flight.
Yeah.
I drove from Huntsville, so it was I got out ahead of it, and then we drove from Huntsville, and I thought I would feel worse for all my friends getting delayed, but I didn't.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I think I'm like, it happens.
What are you gonna do?
It happens.
What are you gonna do? Yeah.
Not for me.
I would only I was thinking about it, I was like, next weekend I'm in Fort Wayne, and I was like, I wouldn't mind missing maybe one of those shows.
Yeah.
Like if I had to miss the Friday late and they had to go to the Saturday, I was like, that'd be okay with me, actually.
You guys should just stay.
Stay here, yeah.
What do you like what if he's delayed? Like, or if he misses?
Well, I'm kind of used to it right now.
Yeah.
It's getting pretty bad.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Just like you kind of expect like at least 2 hours.
You're not,
later.
I mean, were you like, I wish he was here? Do you sometimes, it's both? Sometimes you're like, you know what? Are you excited? Are you excited that could you be a little?
No. I'm like, you got to get home and help me.
That's what it is. Yeah. You're not happy to see me. You're happy for the relief.
The second shift. Yeah. It's like where were you?
A swing shift comes in.
Yeah.
That's exactly it. You get really, and I wonder if Laura's the same way, around the holidays is like when it.
Yeah, I get a little triggered.
Yeah.
You know, like in December, I'm like, okay, what time's your flight? Like
Yeah.
planes, trains, and automobile stuff.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
because it's just too important. You know, like
The
we don't mess with like
holidays.
the
The
week
holidays,
before Christmas,
We
but
don't take them that serious. I guess.
Do you know, like
I just
you,
get fancy.
when you
Yeah,
travel a
no,
lot
yeah.
for work, like we'll celebrate your birthday on a different day,
Oh yeah.
but you do that with Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Jesus, well, he's there the whole time.
Yeah.
So he understands. I don't talk to him irregularly like you do. I talk to him every day, Dustin.
He's in this room.
He's in this room right now.
Uh-huh.
I don't know that.
He came in this room just to meet you,
You mean
for
you-
a second. 'Cause
Are you talking about
Yeah.
the?
West
Are you talking about the
Coasters.
doctrine of an omnipresent God? Because I'm ready to go.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
I'll theologize this podcast all day. I didn't
know.
go to. You know, I'm a proper Christian too. You know, it's a
Dustin,
step in
philosophy
here.
major over here.
Oh,
I
yeah.
studied the book, not the questions.
Yeah, did you take a whole class on Thomas Aquinas and angels?
I did. No.
Oh, dang. I was like, dang. Okay,
But
that's
I
pretty
know
cool.
who that is.
Wow.
Yeah, you know Thomas Aquinas. There
Yeah,
you
he
go.
was
Yeah.
he was kind of the mystic of the old group, right? He broke a little bit from okay. You had
Ooh.
Augustine, who was a little more like kind of your what would you call like I don't know, like
Reformer?
more reformed, like kind of like by the book. But Aquinas, he got a little more mystical. He was a little more kind of out there on some of the ideas.
He was just an Aristotelian. He just loved Aristotle.
All right, now we're just throwing words.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you're the one. You dropped
I regret-
omnipresent
Yeah.
earlier. You kind of raised the bar here.
Well, to be fair, Nate said I wasn't a Christian, so
You're a California Christian.
That was, yeah. Which,
It's a different scale.
yeah.
You're like the Pope out there.
Yeah.
that's fair enough.
All right.
I think that I think it might be in there, but the last week the impression that Aaron did of me, which Dusty was right, was very insulting. Like you really,
The nasal.
yeah.
Yeah.
But what you said, and I don't know if you meant it, was much meaner. Do you remember what you said? You go, first off, it's an impression of somebody nobody knows.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if that's. It's
so mean.
It is. Well, it is mean. But you weren't there, so it was easier to do it. Now everybody knows.
Now
you.
everybody
I knew
does.
this was happening.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
He's
So,
planting the seeds.
I was
Yeah.
planting the
100%.
seed, and everybody goes, "Well, who is that guy?" Oh, I'll tell you who that guy is.
Yeah, now you
yeah.
know.
Now you know who that guy is.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Pulling the strings.
Yeah.
A real Aquinas. I don't know. That doesn't make sense at all. But
No, Dustin's one of the most requested guests we've had to be on our podcast.
Yes.
excellent.
Which
Awesome.
Yeah.
we have some I know I don't believe y'all do We read comments
Yeah,
on
we
our
do
podcast.
emails.
We do email.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
send me
We got a
that's
Facebook
nice.
group. We're
Oh,
Nate Land light in that regard.
Oh yeah.
We're working on
No.
it. Yeah.
We're just doing barely better than you. And then you will in 2 weeks you acquire us, and now you're like, golly, that went
Yeah.
way wrong.
Yeah,
You go,
yeah.
I don't know what happened. Let's read. Here's some of our comments. David Bushy. That's his last name. Bushy.
You hit it so hard, though.
David
Yeah.
Bushy. That's tough. I bet he prefers to not even
Yeah.
say his
Yeah.
last
It's
name.
tough when your last name is an adjective.
That's true.
Yeah.
You don't want.
I would just tell
I
everybody it's Boucher.
Yeah.
David Boucher.
Oh yeah, that'll clear
Just
that.
call
up.
me Bush. Yeah. Boucher.
So
I may
David-
be in the minority here, but I actually think Aaron Weber did a good Dustin Nickerson impression.
There you go.
If you close your eyes and listen, you can picture Dustin. There you
Yeah,
go.
I've heard him enough. I think I've got it down.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That sounded like you've heard too much.
Yeah.
Gosh,
I mean, yeah.
I've had to sit through enough of it. And we haven't done that many dates together.
You did enough.
You officiated my wedding.
That's
I think
true.
I'm
Yeah.
familiar with your
Yeah,
voice.
that's true.
That is true.
Yeah.
I had a hot set.
Yeah.
actually.
You did.
have
Did
a
you get
good set.
paid for that?
No, but I did.
That's crazy.
But they
That's
did.
did get the
crazy.
hotel.
They did give us a hotel.
Oh,
no
yeah.
flight, no travel buyout, but
Wow.
there was.
wow.
Well,
Gotta bring
yeah. My wife made a bad deal.
Yeah.
She
Yeah.
gave you a bad deal.
This was
for
before
sure.
I
no
could-
hotel.
This is before I could sell tickets. So
Yeah.
Sinsheimer gave me a bad no
Dustin,
door deal.
He goes, look, there'll be a lot of industry there.
There was
gonna-
actually. It was pretty
I
good
got
exposure.
bookings from it.
Yeah.
I
yeah.
got passed at the comedy zones from that.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah. They go, this guy's good.
Yeah.
And he go, this preacher's good.
Yeah. He's got a pretty little set here.
That reminds me of the first time I ever met Dustin. Hold on, David Bushy.
Yeah.
First time I ever met Dustin. I don't know if you remember this. Christian Comedy
Yeah.
Association
Mhm.
conference. There's a lot of C's in there.
CCAC.
I barely got to go because I'm not a Christian.
Right.
West Coast Christian.
West Coast Christian.
We're doing this showcase show,
Uh-huh.
and I hear there's industry here. I'm like,
Oh,
this is
my.
exciting. And I go up there and I do my set, and I see a guy in the audience. No, wait. You went.
Mm-hmm.
And this guy gets up when you get off stage and rushes you. And I'm like, who is that? And they're like, that guy's like a manager. He wants to manage Dustin. And I'm like, I gotta impress him.
Yeah.
And I get up there and do my set, and I look out. That guy's asleep in the audience.
I
Literally
think I
like
remember
this.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Do you remember that?
Whoa.
And did you go
No, I
wake
was-
him up and say, can you manage me?
What do you think?
Yeah. And he goes, yeah,
Yeah.
I'll do it.
Do you remember that, Dustin?
I forgot about that. No.
But you remember it now?
I do now. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
Really hammering home to make sure he remembers it.
yeah. You remember that, Dustin?
You remember that, Dustin?
All right.
He goes,
Well-
no? What about now?
No, I remember.
What
talking
about
to the
now,
manager.
Dustin? He's
Yeah.
right behind you.
And then this weekend I did a podcast,
Uh-huh.
and I said beforehand, I was like, who else you guys got coming on? And they're like, well, we're going to get Dustin Nickerson tomorrow. And I guess that was it while we're in town. And then I asked at the end of the podcast, when will this come out? And they said, well, we're pretty backlogged. We've got Mark Norman coming up. We got Dustin Nickerson coming up. And I'm like, you just told me you're doing Dustin tomorrow. And they're like, yeah, but come on. We just
Listen.
got to.
They're like, we
Oh,
fell asleep during
man.
the editing.
He got pushed.
Yeah.
This is why we're starting a podcast with him and not you. So, sorry.
I thought I was on this one.
Oh, yeah,
And
you're
you've been
right.
on ours.
No,
and you've
yeah.
been on ours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, there you
and then
go.
we stopped having guests.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
just us now.
It's not a bad thing.
Yeah,
It's a lot to book guests.
it is. And you
Yeah.
have a dynamic.
Yeah.
And we like a husband-wife thing. We got something.
Is it
different.
like too much? Y'all feel like y'all talk too much now because of the podcast? You're married?
We'll
Is
we'll
it like,
save stuff.
We'll say
Okay.
that.
Do you
Oh,
guys do
yeah?
that too? You'll be like, save it for the podcast. Like I
Yeah,
got,
yeah,
I
you
got
save
this
for the
funny
podcast.
story from
Yeah.
this weekend.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I'm not going to tell you yet.
But I'm saying as a
Be
wife,
like, write it down.
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
if I had to do a podcast with my wife, it's already a lot because you live with them.
Yeah.
You know, I don't
Oh,
know
yeah.
how most marriages are, but in our marriage, we live together, and then
Old-fashioned values.
Yeah.
You know?
I would think that it is good that you do travel. Because then
There
there
has-
is like
yeah.
some. So you probably
The
your
travel
relationship's
does
great.
help.
Yeah.
To bring together like more stories and
Mhm.
anecdotes.
Yeah.
You know.
It's
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
lot of like, how was your weekend? Like there is an amount of like catching up that we
Mm-hmm.
start every episode with like a weekend recap, and I'm like, I was in Fort Wayne, and you're like, well, I
was
had
in a volleyball tournament.
yeah,
Yeah,
and I was like, okay, well, say hi to the kids.
Yeah. I don't know.
Do you ever have to pause a fight or pause an argument to
Yeah.
do a podcast?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And you think you can tell if you listen to it, or do you guys hide
well,
it
like
pretty
my
well?
energy, like I can't like lie about anything.
Not a
Yeah.
liar.
And so there will be some times when we just gotta like circle the block. Like
Yeah,
we cannot record yet.
Yeah.
Like I'm like
that.
seething.
yeah.
Yeah.
You know, and you can't
Yeah.
banter and be witty when
Yeah.
you're like literally like,
Mhm.
you know,
You're
die.
the reason.
You know?
Yeah. hey, you
Yeah,
want to
it's
go
tough.
be funny together?
Yeah.
We start off
You're
saying
like,
we're a funny podcast.
You
about
should do it
family.
you do those by Zoom, and y'all are just, you're like in other separate
I'm like,
bedrooms.
hi.
Yeah.
And alongside me is my wife.
Yeah.
We are here.
I'll take her or leave her.
No, it's difficult for sure. But we enjoy it. We have fun.
It's fun to
It's
be
good.
creative together.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
think
yeah.
that's I
Mhm.
think that's a great thing. I think it adds it is a special thing to the relationship, and then you're both involved in it and your careers, and you know, it's like we have with my wife, and because it's hard. You don't want to just be like completely, even though you're separate. You know,
Right.
you want to
Yeah.
be like, you know, because you've been here the whole time, so it's like
Yeah.
it's all
Absolutely, yeah.
yeah.
Well, and I think fans and like they enjoy, you know, like seeing like your life, your story, your family.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it's
I
a
think
different
it's similar to
perspective.
why your
Yeah.
podcast works, and that it is different, and that
Very
it's like 4 or 5 comics, not just like one comic talking, because like that exists, and they're the biggest podcast in the world.
Mhm.
And so
Yeah.
what you guys are doing is different. And we started off with guests, And
Yeah, for a
then
couple
during
years.
COVID,
Yeah.
I was like, can we just do this? Because first off, this is a different side of me because you're different with your spouse.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways. And I think you're so funny. And like when I try to make you, so it is like, it's different than the act. It's different than me being on
And
the
I'm not a comic, and I'm just like goofy and
Mhm.
hitting
good-
stuff.
That was well timed.
Yeah.
Get your phone on the
I was like, I
table.
can't have the headphones. They'll just distract me. And I'll
Yeah.
Oh,
get
yeah.
confused.
Yeah.
But I try to just be myself and bring
Mhm.
myself to the
Cries.
table.
We've had a
Yeah.
couple
Yeah,
cries.
I cry
We've had a
sometimes.
couple
Have
cries.
you?
Yeah,
Oh,
I am
man.
like,
It's a
I
heavy-
wear my heart on my
Nate's
sleeve.
like,
Yeah.
we're
Like,
out.
This is
No,
heavy.
we've done that.
Yeah, Brian's
Yeah.
cried a few times.
Yeah.
A few times.
Yeah.
Awesome.
That's usually after the episode.
Yeah.
No, I think it adds to it. You
When's the
know?
last time you cried?
In life?
Yeah.
Oh,
Ooh,
man.
when was the last
Been
time
a
I
while?
cried? I usually have a pretty heavy, like a big
Christmas
Christmas
cry.
cry.
Yeah.
Just at Christmas.
Christmas
I cry
cry.
a lot at Christmas.
Just like
I cry,
you put the angel on the tree and then you start crying.
yeah, Christmas is real
Kids and-
melancholy.
It's a kid thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's a parent thing.
yeah.
Yep.
Movies,
Mhm.
movies, and TV shows make you cry.
I cried. Yeah. What was the last?
Some songs.
There's some song.
Yeah,
I cry.
yeah.
I cry a decent amount.
Cry
but-
from a song,
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
just in the car.
Yeah.
Just-
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
what kind of
Do
song?
you not? Do songs not make you cry?
What are you
I don't
listening
listen to
to?
the words.
Yeah.
So I don't. I've never cried at a song. Even I don't know any songs talking about.
Yeah. I mean, I like sad music, man.
Yeah.
I like
Yeah.
a lot of
Mhm.
sad.
It's like
songs.
the Seattle. Like
Yeah.
Yeah.
y'all kind of like
Mhm.
a
Well,
little.
the
You like to be
that
miserable.
that
Mhm. Yeah.
I like that Zach Bryan song, Going South. That's
yeah.
a sad song.
That's a
Yeah.
sad song.
Because y'all don't like coming to the South?
No. That guy's like I don't know if you know the premise of the song, but
No.
it's like he's talking about his childhood and he has these big dreams and these ambitions, and everyone's like calling him like a riser, like you can't do this, you can never, you're just the kid who plays in the dirt. And he's like, so the song's about going south where people let you play your music loud, and then it's like and then he calls his dad. He's like, I'm never coming back, you never believed in me, and I'm going south. And I was like, yeah, that one gets me, but
Yeah.
you have to listen to the lyrics for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
His dad
Mhm.
didn't believe in him.
Yeah, he said.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's
Yeah.
the character in it necessarily.
Yeah.
But he calls and he's like calls his dad and say, "I'm never coming back," because they sing my songs out here. So
See, I think I would like that. The one song. What was it song? It was
The Sugarland song.
yeah. What's that? Yeah, that Sugarland song.
Hey,
it's
Mama,
kinda the
Dad,
same, hey, dear
send
mom
money."
and dad, please send money. I'm so
Mhm.
broke it ain't funny. So
Yeah.
that song,
Yeah.
that song could make me cry. But that would be, it's the same as Zach Bryant. But it's like that's where my mentality goes. Is like it's not a, which is I mean, fortunately I know people don't like their parents, but it's like it's more of a positive. Like
right.
They
it's like-
supported you.
yeah, they
Yeah,
supported
yeah,
you,
yeah.
like or they
Mhm.
did,
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then the other way is like.
Because that song is
It's a
I've
lot.
succeeded and
Yeah.
now I'm going to come back and lift up the family
Yes.
who lifted
Yeah.
me up
Yeah,
the whole
yeah,
way
yeah,
through.
yeah.
You like the other way.
So
I like it all.
Everybody,
you
yeah.
want it to be like,
No,
oh,
in your
you
face.
stupid
it could be
idiot.
both. It could be both.
No,
we
I
don't
like it
trash
all.
on our parents.
Huh?
We don't trash on
Not
our
No,
parents.
no, I'm
publicly.
saying your song, his song, he likes.
Yeah.
But
But
sad
even
okay
though,
to like
even
a
though
you
sad
ever hear him
song.
listen to a song and then you walk in, you're like, good. God.
no,
Is that like
you know
that?
the story, the Christmas Mel walked in on me one time doing the dishes during Christmas, bawling because I
Yeah.
was listening to Johnny Cash and I was thinking
Yeah.
about my Uncle Butch. So my house growing up was my dad and my sister and my Uncle Butch, and Butch was like 6'6", like 280. Always wore big NASCAR jackets
Yeah.
everywhere he
Vietnam
go. He was
vet.
a big Terry Labonte fan, so it had the cornflakes guy everywhere he went. Drove a big
Yeah.
lifted truck.
Earn the name.
Earned the name. He was
Yeah.
a Butch
Mhm.
because that family had 3 Jims. They had Jim Nickerson, who was my grandpa, who ran illegal gambling rooms, and then his son James Nickerson went by Butch, and then his son Jimmy went by Tater. So this is why I told you, and I showed
Yeah.
you the picture. My favorite of your SNL was Lake Beach.
Yeah.
we were crying
Because I was like,
at that.
I sent it to my
Yeah.
sister, and I was like, she's like, and the Lake Beach thing, because she sent me the picture. She's like, Lake Beach looks like a good time, and I was like,
Yeah.
no, Lake Beach is a good time.
Yeah, yeah,
for the
yeah,
record.
Yeah.
But Butch had this like really baritone voice, and he could like sing Johnny Cash. And Johnny Cash is an excellent Christmas album. And so I
Yeah.
was crying and was doing the dishes, and you walked in, and I was kind of like, I don't know if you've ever happened with your partner or your spouse, you're like, I'm trying to be vulnerable, and you did not know how to receive it.
No, because sometimes, like, if you're in a place and then you come to your partner, like, you ready? And I'm like, I'm not ready to be sad. I gotta go wrap all these gifts. Like,
Yeah. I got work to do. Yeah.
now he was being productive sad because he was doing the dishes.
That's good.
Still
So-
adults.
Still
Mhm.
Yes, and parents. But I'm like, I'm not ready to cry right now. You
Yeah.
know, I
Got stuff to do.
I think that's one of the hardest things about
Mhm.
a relationship, like and being married, is like, I'm not feeling what you're feeling right now. So
Yeah.
if you're mad or sad or happy, I could be
Mhm.
the complete different emotion, and now we just have to exist together somehow.
And
But-
I think sometimes with men, it's like I'm still learning how to be supportive of you when you actually like are sad.
well, yeah, because
You know what I
I'll
mean? 'Cause,
express
like-
the sadness.
Sounds like you
annually.
cry a lot.
Because I'm
Yeah.
like, what's this?
Yeah.
You know,
Because
like
I
Nate
went
first
to-
I think
asked
you're
you, you're like,
backing
what?
off
Yeah,
about how much you do
Christmas.
cry.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
What can I say
No,
here? That's
no,
not
he
every
does-
day.
Yeah, I went-
Christmas.
I think I went too far. I
Yeah.
had an annual cry, and then I was like, "Hey, I think I might, have feelings now." And I was like, "We're really backlogged on these feelings,
Yeah,
so
you-
they're just coming up
You
a
just
little."
broke the seal.
Does anyone have a tissue? Anyway,
Aaron, you cry. You and Lucy cry together. I can't imagine. Imagine seeing Aaron
What
and
can
Lucy.
you not imagine?
You and Lucy crying together?
Yeah,
Either one of you.
yeah. I bet Lucy
just
would make fun
can't.
of you if you cried.
Yeah.
that's for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
It's it's more Lucy than you.
yeah.
I think it's
Mhm.
I would enjoy seeing it. I think y'all probably cry quite.
I do.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know
bet
why I'm
Ruth-
laughing.
Ruth just comes in just like,
Thank you, Melissa. Thank you.
One of those
I'm-
nights.
I'm
Thank you.
laughing, but I'm also like, oh no, I'm
Yeah, I
not,
appreciate that.
you know.
Yeah.
We're in
you gotta
touch with
get
our
rid of that.
feelings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry for caring so much.
Oh,
Yeah,
you'll learn.
sorry
You'll
for
learn.
caring so
Yeah,
much.
This
That's
is Melissa.
my
This
motto.
is a tagline.
That's my motto.
Sorry
Yeah.
for caring so much.
Yeah.
Yep. To my kids, to my husband, I'm sorry.
Wish you were on our podcast.
Oh man.
High five across the
Oh
table.
man. No. Over Nate.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm
Nice.
sorry.
We're not here for alliances, guys. We're
J.C. Lee Pulford. I was a Dustin Nickerson fan before I even heard of Nate for years, so I'm a big fan of what they're both doing. Let's go, folks. There you go.
let's go, folks.
All right.
She had your-
Backseaters,
yeah.
Hey Bear, all the thing. I know
Yeah.
JC.
Yeah.
Yeah, she runs the Batesville podcast
Yeah.
Oh.
and post on there how Nate's her favorite comic all the time.
Yeah.
Just do it on your own
Yeah.
personal page.
She's
Yeah.
a Nickerson. She's a original
She-
Nickerson fan.
Yeah.
She was an early adopter because you like, and I'm just barely out of it now. But like when you have such a small amount of fans that you know their names.
Oh, yeah,
They'll like come
Yeah.
in your line and you'll be like, Demarius, it's great to see you.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's-
Yeah.
How are the kids? You're
Yeah.
like, no.
Demarius.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Damaris.
Damaris. I
I
always
talked
say
to
it
her
wrong.
last night.
I know
Damaris.
Damaris.
Yeah, yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah?
Yep.
She's a patron.
She's great.
Yeah.
Yep.
She drove from Sacramento. She drove a Reading. She drove out from California for the show
In an
this
RV
weekend.
for Dustin
Yeah, yeah.
shows. For
That's
her
crazy.
50
I mean, there were
50th
other things
birthday.
attached to it, but
Sure.
She's never been in Nashville.
Attached to the RV.
She's never been in Nashville.
her daughter at so we had the like meet and greet merch table, and I was like selling selling shirts, signing the books and stuff, and there was like a mint on the table all of a sudden. She's like a 19-year-old daughter, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna eat that mint because I thought Zany's put
mint.
it out,
Yeah.
and so I ate the mint, and then another mint appeared, and I was like, who's putting these mints out? And it was the daughter. The daughter just carries little mint and thought it was funny.
Oh, that's funny.
And it was funny.
So
it was
goofy,
so,
so
funny.
Yeah.
And I was like, who's putting these mints out? She just did like a little smirk. I was like, I love a little bit like that.
Yeah, yeah.
Just cute. And you thought it was hilarious that
She's
I ate it.
replacing it.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. She replaced the one
Yeah.
that I
That's
ate.
amazing.
You kept eating?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You're going to keep giving me free mints.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
Anyway.
go to town. Bree Puckett. I just saw Dustin's new hour. It is so good. I loved how much he talks about parenting and being married. I hope to see more of Nate and Dustin together. Well, this will be the last time. So, no, yeah. Yeah, you murder, dude, at the shows. It's very fun, because you just come out and destroy. And that's what I love. With a lot of everybody does very good, but it's nice to see comics go. You've been someone I always talk about a lot because you've done it on your own. You went on the road. You learned how to. You talked about doing those Wednesdays and those off nights, and really, and then teaming them up when you were with me or you were with Taylor, or something. But you always were moving forward, and and then I mean, now in your own right, I still trick you into coming out with me some, just because where it's fun. But it's your headline, you're doing. It's all moving forward, dude.
Thanks, man.
It's good.
Yeah, it's been it's fun. I always say to my team, which is like new to have a team, it's like just brick by brick. I'm just just trying to compete with myself. Like, did I sell better than last year? Am I gaining some fans? Did I get a little funnier? Did I write a new joke? And it's last year. So you did a guest set last time. It was this weekend last year, and you were talking to me in the parking lot. It was really nice. You're like, hey man, like it's about to get really fun.
Yeah.
And listen, there's some rough ticket counts on the calendar. I'm not gonna act. We got some markets we're building in that there's a half a brick laid so far. But like a weekend like this, where it was like just short of like 3 sellouts, and it was fun, and they're fans and they're on board with you like out of the gate. It's like, oh, I've gotten better, and it's gotten easier.
Yeah.
Like I don't have to dance the way that I used to, or like, you come out and you're like, I don't have to prove to them that I'm funny. They're already invested, which is nice. It's a good feeling.
Yeah.
So thanks for all
good.
the boost and support and stuff.
Absolutely. So you guys' podcast about parenting.
Mm-hmm.
What are we? What are we talking?
Yeah, we're talking about parenting today. I'm a new parent. Aaron's about to be a
Yeah.
parent.
About to be.
I got a
about
lot
to
of
be,
questions for
yeah.
you guys.
Good.
Oh,
Yeah. We had our kids really young, so we did the math. So even counting Dustin, we've been parents longer than all you guys combined.
Oh, wow.
So but it is fun. That we're at the different stages.
Yeah.
You have how old's Harper?
12.
12. So
She's
preteen.
right between our girls.
Yeah, preteen, young. How old's how old's your kiddo?
Eleanor.
Eleanor. I'm sorry. No.
She's like
I was
2?
gonna
No,
say-
He was just going to sit in that for
How-
I was
5
gonna
minutes.
sit on
How
it.
He
old's-
goes, what's that
no,
chick
no.
that lives in your
No,
house?
how old's Ruth? I was
Oh.
asking how old your wife was.
I don't.
No, I'm
Yeah.
just kidding.
Yeah, he goes, all right. How much does she weigh? Go
Yeah,
ahead.
Yeah.
You got-
Where's
you
your?
got-
I want
just
to. I'm here
the
for
worst.
Ruth stats. No,
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah,
care about
yeah.
your daughter.
What's your home address?
What's she pulling annual income, Ruth, these days? It's
More than
gotta
me.
be. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's just leave it at that.
And then you got a baby.
Eleanor's
on the way.
2.
Eleanor's 2.
I was right.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So anyway,
I'm
So-
not good at that stuff. Do you have I have nieces and nephews that I don't remember how many kids they have and their ages, but you really.
I
remember
lock
that.
in. I know all
Yeah.
the birthdays. Yeah.
Yeah, my mom knows all birthdays.
Yeah.
She's always remembered everybody's birthday.
It's a good mom.
Mhm.
Yeah. That's
It's
nice.
okay.
Yeah.
You
can
guys
also
have,
just have a note in your phone.
Yeah, that's true.
or Facebook does it for me.
Yeah.
Not
Yeah.
for the kids though.
For Eleanor, you got Eleanor
Eleanor's
on Facebook.
Yeah,
This
she's
is the
got her own
only
page.
social media we allow. Facebook.
Yeah. The second she starts talking, we're gonna get her.
Monetize.
I mean, we just, she's almost there, but yeah,
No.
we need to get some young blood in this podcast.
Well, she's been on before.
She has.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So you guys have 3
We have
kids.
3 kids.
You're
Mm-hmm.
one of 3.
I'm one of 3.
Is the whole birth order thing, which you always hear about,
Oh man.
is it true?
Mel loves talking about birth
I
order.
do love birth order.
Where are you at in the order?
I'm first.
You're first.
Mhm.
And then you have a
Then
sister.
I have my
and a
brother Derek.
Yeah.
Then my sister Abigail.
Okay.
Okay. So is it true?
order?
Birth order for our kids.
Yeah.
Well, what like the
mhm.
stereotypical high achieving what are the
Independent.
All right, here's
Yeah.
what psychologists say. Firstborn children typically motivated to meet their parents' expectations,
Mhm.
described as perfectionists, reliable, conscientious. Middle children more enjoy negotiation and compromise. They're peacemakers. Younger children are develop natural confidence from attention they receive.
Mm-hmm.
I would think that's true.
Yeah.
My brother's very peaceful.
Mhm. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
He's the only one I can talk to in your family.
Your brother was a missionary, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Or is?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's a principal. But they did a lot of mission work. He just went over to Uganda.
Yeah.
Just came back. Yeah.
We have that in. You guys
My
have that in
brother as
common. You have
well.
a missionary
Mhm.
sibling.
Yep. Well, and my sister
Siblings,
was
yeah.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I mean, I would think
Uh.
it's certainly.
And does it matter if it's a boy girl, the order?
You've read otherwise on that. Mel loves this stuff.
I do love this stuff.
Yeah.
Well, the reason I love it is because I'm a first daughter, but I have an older brother, but then I have twins under me. So I kind of like meet all the boxes except the youngest.
Right. Because I think you told me once that
yeah.
birth order
Mhm.
can, if it is sometimes,
There's
if
a lapse.
if the top two are different genders, that they can end up kind of both being firstborns.
Yeah.
Because they don't necessarily
Mhm.
live in the shadow and get the comparison.
Or
Oh,
if there's
makes
enough
sense.
if
That
there's
makes
enough
sense.
years in between, it can change too. But I would say like our son is not a perfectionist, but he is the most reliable of the
Yeah.
three
Yeah.
kids
Yeah.
for sure. And then our youngest is like the baby of babies.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
for sure. So
yeah, she's gonna work for us one day.
she's
Yeah.
10.
Yeah.
Let's get real here.
So,
can you sell merch? Because I got to
Yeah.
stop soon.
Our middle is really good at makeup. So maybe
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel
we're gonna
like
employ all our kids.
yeah,
Yeah.
I feel like at least where our kids are at right now, like life wise, 17-year-old boy, 14-year-old girl, 10-year-old girl.
Uh-huh.
There are things about their life that are more dominant than their birth order. Like
Yeah.
there might be
Mhm.
parts of it that Gloria, our middle child, represents being a middle child, but really what she is a 14-year-old girl. That's what she is.
Yeah.
Who
Yeah.
like that's the
Mhm.
driving force and like kind of makes her who she is. But I wonder if some of the birth order stuff like makes more sense as you're adults.
Like
and
their
you see
arc.
where they
Yeah.
know, 'cause
Like
Joel
how
is a high
achieving
achiever.
They are. He's
but
like
also he could be a
he's
part-time
kind
lifeguard
of
one day. I don't know.
Dustin says he's gonna major in vibes.
Yeah.
Vibes, yeah.
So
he's a SoCal
Yeah.
bro. It's
he's
Yeah.
tough.
he's so mad he's not at the beach right now.
Yeah.
You
Oh,
know, he's
gosh.
like, oh, it's a perfectly good Monday.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
San Diego is the most. I love.
We've
we
ruined
love,
him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've ruined him.
We love
Yeah.
living in San Diego. But I'm from Seattle, and it's such an unmotivated group of people. Because what do you do? You already won.
Yeah.
Yes,
Every
it's
day's the
lovely
best.
Every
outside.
day's the best.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's called America's Finest City. They
Mhm.
have a phrase, San Diego, no bad days. And
Just go get
it's just
delicious tacos.
Yeah, what'd you do?
burritos.
I longboarded to get some fish tacos.
Yeah.
Surfed. You know, I called my family. We're all really close still.
Yeah.
You did a bonfire.
Yeah, like someone
Yeah.
has to work though.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
you're
yeah.
like,
Yeah.
I feel like in every family, it's like the families all agree with that, and then there's one guy like, it's a lot of pressure
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
He's paying for it all.
I have to pay for these everybody beneath me. That's just like it's easy, dude.
Yeah, yeah. This
Yeah.
guy's out here like, and this guy's out.
But they
I'm
don't.
breaking
They
my
don't
back
require
out
for.
here.
Yeah, they don't require much though.
Yeah,
because it's like you give them a surfboard.
yeah.
The
Mhm.
ocean's free.
Yeah.
The ocean is
No,
free.
and he only
Yeah.
wears vintage like resale clothes, so that's really cheap.
This is one that he picked up
He-
in a thrift store right here. So
yeah,
it's like a vintage.
he
Yeah.
finds his clothes. So,
1991. He found it in a thrift store for like $2.
yeah,
Wow.
but he does have an entrepreneurial spirit. He sells.
He's got a little
He
business.
sells
Yes,
these
that's right.
clothes,
I think
so,
you told us
Mhm.
that.
He sells vintage clothes, which is
So,
really cool.
Yeah, we're proud
Yeah.
of him.
Now he's
Mhm.
almost an adult. At what
He
age, or is it there yet? You start becoming friends with your kids.
Mm.
I think there's this saying. It's like, okay, this is good. It's like cop when they're little, and then it's like coach,
Yeah.
and then I don't remember the third one. It's like
I don't
3
either.
C's.
You set
I
that
know,
up so
I was
strong.
so
You're like,
ready.
This is good.
This
you,
is gonna be so good. Listen up.
you really had like,
Yeah.
I got something real insightful.
I started off great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It'll
Cop,
come to me
co-captain,
later. I'm so
yeah.
sorry.
co-captain,
Yeah.
Maybe it's
Cheerleader.
co-captain.
Coworker.
cheerleader. Isn't one of
Cheerleader.
them?
That
Yeah,
kind of sounds
that
right.
sounds
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
So like we're kind of in that coach to cheerleader part because like we're still financing
Yeah.
his life,
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
but we're also like, hey, this is your life,
Yeah.
not our life. Like these
Yeah.
are your grades. You know, these are your friends.
Teens are a weird
Your
tension.
decisions.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because
I mean, they affect us absolutely.
yes,
Yeah.
and kind of like Nate was saying earlier, like we're paying for all of this still. So it's
Mhm.
like they have this like fierce sense of independence. Be like, dude, I pay for your house, your phone,
Yeah.
your
Yep.
car, your like I'm
Insurance.
I'm
your
I'm
food.
still. They don't want you to be in charge, but you absolutely they need you. So
Yeah.
Mhm.
and
It's
it is,
a tough transition. You
But
know,
can he
growing
beat you
up.
in sports now?
so Joel Joel might run in college. Joel runs like a 4:30 mile. He's like
Yeah.
crazy fast. And Mel ran in college, a distance runner. and we'll just see he's at tension with like, I'm a high achieving firstborn and I'm crazy athletic and an honor roll student, but also these vibes, bro.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know if I want to go to college to like try. And you're like, okay. It'd be great if you did.
Yeah.
Because your coach is like, you could run D1. He's like, I don't know though.
I'd like to go to the beach.
I got to go to the beach.
Yeah.
The beach is so overpowering.
Do they do surfing at colleges out there?
Oh, I don't know. He's not a great surfer. He's a great
Oh.
skateboarder though.
Oh.
Mhm. He
I
just
don't know.
goes out and like barrel rolls
Yeah.
in the waves.
Yeah.
Do you feel this
They have
though,
a
Nate?
blast.
Tugging into Harper, where like my dad always said to my sister, because me and my sister were both first generation college students, and it was like really harped on us. Like my dad
Yeah.
was like single dad, union worker. My uncle lived with us to help pay rent, and he was like, you have to go to college and you have to get a degree, and like, but it's
That
like
was the
hard
way.
to have this
Yeah.
job and tell my kids that like you got to go to college.
Yeah.
You gotta like get a business degree or be because they're like, well, you just talk about what you talk about on stage, and you made more money than like we ever. It's stupid. You made more money than you did in your old day jobs. You know.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, that, my college didn't work out. So my dad went to college later. My mom didn't. Then but yeah, I don't think I would make her go to, I wouldn't, it just depends on what she wants to do.
Yeah.
It would be,
Mhm.
it's like if you're really going to something to, if she really wants to do something that is like, all right, an engineer or something,
Right,
you're
right.
like, all right,
Yeah.
well, you need to go to school for that stuff.
Right.
Mhm.
But if it's almost anything outside of that,
Yeah.
you could just be like, well, just go learn how to do it.
Right.
We had Justin Galindo, he's
I know
be
Justin,
my
yeah.
production manager, comes out of the road with me. He was just out with us. And he was like that guy. He just started working at like in Anaheim,
Mm-hmm.
the arena there at like 14, and just was like, started at the very bottom, and then
Right.
it's just like, and he knows everything, has been in every situation. And so, I mean, people coming out of college couldn't even
Right,
compete
right,
with him
Right.
because he's already
Yeah.
had to deal with everything.
I think you're right. I think that like college, not only is it from our point of view, we can't harp like a traditional job search, like because of what we do for a living, but also people kind of like are realizing there's so many different paths now, and
Yeah.
that college isn't not necessary. Not only is it maybe not the best idea, in some cases it's a bad idea. If you
Mhm.
have to
Mhm.
go meander for a while, we're like, hey, community college is free. Maybe get a
Mhm.
taste
can-
of it.
It's
yeah,
free in Southern
it
California.
could slowly become like almost a privileged idea because to be able to
Yeah,
go
that's
Oh
true.
yeah,
and waste your time
And money.
and
so much money.
But like a lot of people, it's like it doesn't matter. They
Right.
just do it, and then they don't ever have a debt or stuff like that.
Yeah.
There's I mean, I don't know what they're in. I don't know what classes they're taking. It's all
Right.
weird. It's
Yeah.
I don't know. College. I feel like in the next 25 years, people are going to really start looking at colleges and
Yeah.
be like,
Mhm.
what is going on?
Right. It's kind of
It's
already
already
happening.
Yeah, it's already happening.
Yeah.
Gen Z isn't going to college nearly as much.
No,
Yeah.
And
enrollment
you
is
can't-
down
yeah.
like everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah.
And prices are up.
Yes, they are.
Mhm.
That's crazy.
Good combo.
Now, Aaron, both of you and Lucy are both in entertainment. Do you think your daughter will go to college? Will you encourage her?
I don't know her too well yet, but
I haven't seen that GPA yet.
Well, this is an interesting question I was going to ask you. How often do you find yourself letting your kids do something or pursue something that you think is a mistake or you think they have no future in? How often do you just
Yeah.
sit back and let your kids make a mistake versus trying to steer them in the right direction
Mm.
initially?
Mhm.
Well, a current one that I have is travel volleyball because we have an incoming freshman.
Mhm.
And we've kind of sidestepped that by doing like local travel and like camps,
Mhm.
which are less travel based.
Yeah.
But you're also like, you want to give her, the best opportunity to play in
Yeah.
high school and have
Mhm.
a group. And, but also you're like, I don't know. It's not quite exactly what you asked me, but it was the first thing that came to mind.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you're like, am I stifling her or
Sure,
is
sure.
it just like not going to happen?
Well, that basketball stuff with the kid or sports with kids is out of
The
control.
travel
Crazy,
stuff
yeah.
is
There's,
crazy.
Travel
uh,
sports.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you see stuff, or you see where because people want to get in that travel and they're just telling kids like just go play near your house. Like it's
right.
you're costing
Yeah.
parents it's tons of money.
And
And
time.
You could buy a
and time.
car.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
or you could play travel
You gotta
volleyball.
devote your whole life
Yeah.
to it.
Yeah.
And who knows
Yeah.
if this kid will want to play baseball or basketball when they're
Right.
in high school.
When a lot of time they don't. But it
Yeah.
is
Mhm.
tough because there is a tension because like growing up playing sports, like if you did there are a lot of good core memories there. And it
Mhm.
A lot of
was
life
very
lessons.
good
Yeah.
outlets,
Mhm.
There's also some trauma and bad memories. The sliding back into first base is a
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that works. That came around.
yeah, that came around.
Yeah,
now
yeah.
you make
We
content.
love
out of
it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
40 years
Yeah.
later, it paid
You
off.
gotta,
Yeah.
some stuff you gotta
Glad it
sit on.
happened.
Yeah,
Sometimes
yeah,
you
yeah.
gotta sit on. Yeah.
So I guess sign your kid up for travel
Yeah.
sports is what we're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it is like it got so competitive. But if you want your kids to play in high school, especially like we go to a big high school, we
Public
go to,
school. Yeah.
a
Mhm.
big public school that has a big sports program.
Yeah.
And like if Gloria didn't do some of those camps and play some of those, she probably wouldn't make the
There's
team.
15 spots.
Mhm.
Wow.
And
Yeah,
there's 600
so
incoming freshmen.
it's same,
Jeez.
and the more specialized the sport, the like particularly like a baseball, a soccer, a basketball, those kind of
Mhm.
things. Running is great because you're faster, you're not.
Yeah. Yeah.
You got a pair of shoes?
yeah, it can get out there. But it is so I think a lot of parents they do that and their heart is good in it. They're like, I want the best for my kid. I want them to.
Mhm.
And the worst part is your kids get older. Is you don't want teens with downtime.
No.
Yeah.
It's the old what's the idle hands makes the devil's work.
Mm,
Like
yeah.
there's
Yeah.
you can't be bored. I need you to have something to do.
Mhm.
So I
And
feel like
exercise.
Do you
so
agree
good
with that?
for
Do you think?
teenagers.
Do you try to eliminate boredom, or are you saying you disagree?
No,
with that?
that's
no,
like a
I
whole
try
thing.
no, I try and keep we try and keep them as busy as possible.
Really.
No,
Yeah.
no. There's this new movement that you gotta
Oh,
let
here
your
we
kids
go.
be bored so they can be creative and
Yeah.
like learn. You can't just like have them
Yeah.
on an iPad all day.
Yeah.
But I do think that's different with teens because they have so much time.
Yeah.
Like they don't go to sleep. Like they're
Yeah.
up at 1 in the morning.
Yeah.
Like I'm asleep, but they're up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
like they need to get tired by doing a sport. Or I mean, we've got a drama kid, we got a
Mhm.
karate kid. Like it doesn't
Yeah.
matter what.
Well,
Yeah.
You
You just
remember
gotta
like,
do
yeah,
something.
it's like when you have like and I feel for you guys, like with the young kid, and you're like, you'll have a whole day and it's just you and that kid. And you're like, hey, let's draw. And that kills 8 minutes.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're like, get back on your iPad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, let's play some cards. Well, oh, you don't know how to play any games? All right.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. What game can I teach you? Or like,
Yeah.
it's there's so much day to eat up when you're at, and so when your kids get
Like
older,
on a Saturday.
yeah, and you
Mhm.
just
Oh,
don't
yeah.
want them to do
Yeah.
anything. So our kids
Mhm.
still have free time. But yeah,
Yeah.
we try and if we can
Mhm.
get them in programs just to like go be active for a couple hours, just move, go
Yeah.
do something, make
Somewhere
some
else.
friends,
And also
go succeed, go
Yeah.
fail, go
Yeah.
be part of a team, get a
Yeah.
different voice into your life.
Yeah.
You know,
Mhm.
like
That's important.
anything,
Yeah.
ideally a good one, but even a bad one, we can be like, that's a bad one. Listen to us.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, we're at the age where independent play is not there yet.
no.
Yeah.
She's got to
Mhm.
have us there with her,
Yeah.
watching even.
Yeah. Can
Whatever
you?
it is
Yes.
she's doing.
And it's
Mhm.
like it's probably similar. Like you might be a little out of it, but like
Oh, I'm
when,
definitely
like,
out of
8,
it.
9, 8,
Yeah.
9, 10, 11-year-old, or like we'll come up and tell you you're bored, and like that's a thing we would never tell our parents.
Yeah.
It would
Yeah.
not.
Yeah.
It was not our parents'
We would just go
responsibility to
outside.
entertain us.
Yeah.
Just
You would go
outside.
do stuff.
If yeah.
You just-
I
yeah.
remember I said if I was bored, my dad would go, "Oh, I got some stuff you can do.
Yeah.
Go mow the yard,
Yeah,
go
yeah.
rake it." Like,
Mhm.
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
And if you don't want to do that, you're not really bored.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But now the
different
shifted
time.
is they
Yeah.
kind of like look to the parents to like be the cruise director of the home. Like, what do we got going on next?
Yeah.
Here's the agenda for the day.
Yeah.
I'm tired.
Well, maybe because you can't send them out like you
Yeah.
used to.
No.
Like you used
Yeah.
to
I
just
mean,
be like,
we would just
go.
roam.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Just be free.
That is kind of dead, huh?
It is.
like
And even
getting
like
on a bike and leaving.
like
Yeah.
old people, or no offense, but like people will call the police if they see a child out.
Yeah.
Oh,
Really?
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
an 8, 9-year-old. That's like socially unacceptable in a lot of
Wow.
places.
I used to just get on the bike and I'd be gone all day.
Yeah.
Not really doing anything, but
Yeah.
I'd just be riding
Just
around.
out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, you would, especially during summer. We talked about this one of the episodes. You would just like disappear all day. And you got home and your parents like, what? They wouldn't even ask you what you do, but you had like jumped off the school roof that day.
Yeah.
You had like You'd been playing in the ravine. You'd
Yeah.
met a
Dug
new
a
friend.
ditch.
You got in a fight.
Yeah.
You saw, you know,
Stole from a store.
You stole from a
Yeah.
store. Yeah, you were like,
It wasn't all good.
Yeah,
It wasn't all good.
All right.
Yeah.
No,
Trying to elevate
Oh.
the bit.
Oh my
boy.
gosh. Trying to
Yeah, it
elevate
is.
that. I'm
Did you
trying to
steal?
I stole once. Yeah.
You
Yeah.
twist
Oh
it.
my gosh. Get him
I
off
got
the
caught. It was
podcast.
bad.
Aaron.
It was bad.
What'd you steal?
Bubble gum.
Yeah.
I knew it was candy.
So yeah, we try and keep them busy. Especially one of our kids had to go to summer school, and we were like, "Awesome,
Yeah.
that's good." I like
It was
that
like
you.
a week and a half.
Yeah, yeah.
Yep.
I like that you
Mhm.
got to get up and have.
And
to
that's
do
a natural consequence.
something. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. You're like, you
Yeah.
can't get mad at us.
The
Yeah.
school
Your
said.
your grades.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I listened to your podcast. You guys talk about some good and some bad with your kid. A lot of
Yeah.
bad. Do you ever
Mhm.
run anything by them beforehand or be like, that's too much?
Well, notice I didn't say which kid went to summer school.
Uh-huh.
We try
Uh,
and keep it
yeah.
vague.
Mhm.
They would know,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
you wouldn't know which one of my kids struggles. Well, more than one of them struggles in math, but that's my fault. They were
Math
they-
is hard.
Yeah, they were based on they were pre-qualified to be bad at math based on
Yeah.
the half of the DNA being mine. But yeah, we try to we try and talk about them in a way that is vague if we're telling like a maybe negative story, but I don't think we're really like making them look too bad. But you're a listener, so you tell me, are you like, I can't believe we say that about our kids?
Brian was disgusted.
I was.
Brian was
We are using our
disgusting.
children for content.
Yeah.
And,
Well, don't act like we are all.
But you did say something very funny last week about how you have to buy all this expensive sports equipment to try out, and you
Yes.
don't even know if they're going to make the team.
No,
Oh,
you
yeah.
They should let you rent
No,
it,
you don't.
Yes.
and then if they don't make the team,
That's
return it.
why
Yeah.
second hand sporting goods are
Yeah.
full.
Mhm.
It's because you buy the volleyball cleats and the knee pads, and then you don't know if they made the team. or
Volleyball
not.
cleats.
I'm sorry.
It's a different kind
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
volleyball.
You gotta-
I
Is that
have
why,
not
is
been
that why
sleeping
she's
well.
not making
She's
it?
out there, she's out there
Yeah.
ice skating in her
Yeah.
spike
It's got her
cleats.
track spikes.
Yeah.
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 But yeah, there is it's like a down payment. You're like, I have to make all this in here, like an onboarding.
Oh, yeah.
And then they get cut. And you're like, I mean, my last
yeah.
year of baseball growing up was like I had gotten hurt during like the spring. I was on like an American Legion. We were supposed to be on the travel ball team. And the coach pulled me aside and he was like, hey man, like you're pretty hurt and you're probably not going to get a lot of playing time based on that. And like, we've got some other players that we're going to get in here. And I was like, I took it and I was like, dude, this is going to be my moment. This is like my like motivation. I got all hyped. I was like, I'm going to come back and I'm going to show this guy. I'm going to be the team captain this year. I'm going to go off. And I went home and told my dad, and my dad goes like, I mean, it's a lot of money for you to ride the bench.
Yeah.
And I quit.
And
Yeah.
you got a job.
Yeah, and I was like, I mean, because would you just a single dad paying for
Yeah.
this? And he's
Yeah.
like, I don't want to. There is an element where
No, it's a
someone's
privilege.
paying to
Yeah.
watch their kid, right?
Yeah.
They're sitting there in like
Yeah.
$200 LeBrons,
Yeah.
no scuffs on them.
Yeah. Yeah.
Still sticky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm okay if you ride the bench. I think the team element, you can still contribute, you can still practice, you still have a social group. I'm
Yeah.
totally fine if you don't get any playing time,
Yeah, that's fair.
as long as you try hard
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
and you can afford it. I mean, that's
Yeah.
the problem is like travel and these
Well-
high school sports they're very
But at least
expensive.
there's no
Yeah.
entry fee in high school sports. There's
Yeah.
still like,
That's true, but
that-
sometimes some of them require quite a bit of skill
yeah,
that
yeah.
you have to learn, and
It's all
batting coaches
Yeah.
and training
Yeah, I think
camps
I would
and-
imagine if you're getting asked to go do it, it's almost like that. Like you got to go like, if you're just naturally like, you can tell they're like, yo, we need this kid to go.
yeah.
Because that a lot of these kids get into this stuff, and there's ways to get in where it's not costing everybody.
Right,
'Cause
right,
not
right,
everybody
right.
can afford all this
Right.
Yeah.
stuff. And then, but maybe the ones they're keeping alive are the ones that are, that can't afford it. and their
Yeah.
kid.
Yeah,
You're
those are,
right.
yeah, I think you're right. Yeah, and I think that there are sometimes like there's obviously these exceptions. Like when you hear like Khalil Mack didn't play football until his junior year, and you're like, that was an exception.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Antonio Gates,
yeah,
San Diego.
Yeah.
He played
yeah,
basketball.
yeah,
And
exactly.
he's in a Hall of Fame as an NFL tight end.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah, that's like a kid that I don't think they ever came and said, "Hey, we need you to play travel ball."
Yeah.
Like it was like he's like, "I'll do whatever I want."
I'm just naturally a
Just
great
amazing.
athlete.
Yeah. But if you got a kid that has to work at it
Right.
and is just not naturally gifted, it's like, yeah, then you are going to probably have to
Yeah.
really
It's
get them
also
in
tough,
stuff.
like if they're on the good team and they don't get playing time,
Yeah.
Right.
but they practice with
Yeah.
like good kids, or you get them on the bad team and they get a lot of playing time,
Yeah.
but they're not getting like
Yeah.
quite the same experience.
There's
It's tough.
people do that in small schools too. Like they'll be like, "Yeah, I went to state," and I was like, "Dude, you're what division?" You know,
Yeah.
like you can if you go to a small enough school, you can be a high achieving athlete.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And maybe that's better. I don't know.
Yeah,
'Cause in your
little
mind,
pond,
you're-
little pond, big fish.
And then
Mm.
later
Yeah.
on in life, you're like, "No, I was like a 4-year letterman," and you're like, "I mean, you had 8 students.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everyone that went to the school was on the basketball team."
There's there's a school here, MJCA, and my buddy Michael Clay, who I started comedy with. They have, I want to say, 5 people in their class.
Wow.
So the
Yeah.
the
starting
basketball
5.
team was all hands on deck. Anybody,
I still wouldn't start.
yeah,
So we're better with 4.
Yeah.
yeah,
Just play a diamond.
yeah. They just have you stand in the corner of the. They go, just stand there the whole game. Technically, we
Don't
need
move.
you on the
Right.
court.
Yes, yeah.
But just be in there.
Don't move.
Yeah.
Don't play offense.
5
Don't play
people.
defense.
We think they were all friends. I mean, you got to,
yeah.
right?
I still talk to a few of them. So, yeah, and I didn't even go to that school. Like, yeah, you can't not.
he knows
Well,
3 out
because
of
they all
5.
worked at the water company
Yeah.
too. So when I
They
worked
all went to
there-
work together
Yes.
after school. That's
Oh
fun.
yeah, on Mount Juliet. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're all out there, and
That's a 5-person class. Sounds
I think
fun.
if the school's
I think
getting
there's like a
lot
bully
bigger.
in the group. And
Yeah,
maybe
yeah.
like 4 other ones.
Kind of
Like-
mix it up.
Yeah, a lot
Yeah.
of cliques.
It was,
At the school,
Yeah.
5 kids.
yeah, yeah.
They all have their own lunch table.
Yeah.
Talk
I
about a
love that.
graduation though.
Yeah,
I mean, it was
quick.
That's it.
Yeah.
Oh my
Quick.
gosh.
Wow.
Our,
We would do it
our
for that.
8th grade,
Yeah.
they did
Mhm.
like, so our kids like the 8th grade promotion.
hmm
It was,
He almost died.
it was
Mm.
like, it was like 2.5 hours. It was long.
yeah. 'Cause
And-
Nickerson is too deep.
You can't move early. Plus,
Yeah.
Gloria's a
Yep.
singer, so she performed.
Yeah,
Yep.
And
at
that
the
was
end.
great. I'm not a
Mhm.
monster. That was
Yeah.
great. But it's like we had to get there at like 6:30 in the morning.
oh
Yes.
It's
Mhm,
like
to get a seat.
we we work at night. This is
Yeah.
crazy. It might as well be
For 8th grade?
for 8th grade.
For 8th grade.
3 in
Buckle
the
up,
morning
Aaron.
would be easier for me than 6
Yeah.
in the morning.
yeah,
I'll just remain up.
yeah,
Oh, and we had to have flowers. We had like she's chewing us out because we're running late.
Yeah.
You know, and
Yeah.
she's stressed
She's
out.
really nice.
Yeah.
We're like, we love you, and we bought you this dress and
Yeah.
these shoes and this makeup and this nails, and
Yeah,
go
doesn't-
hate
yeah.
us.
Yeah.
Yay.
Yeah.
And then we got grandma, and we're just like rolling out. Like, yeah, it was terrible.
yeah.
And
Terrible.
it's so long. And you're looking at what's tough about graduations is you can see how much time is left. It's like the loading
The
bar.
rows.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You're like, oh my gosh, we're only in the second out of 14 rows, and it's going.
We're
And then
in
there's like the speeches. Like there was like 3 kids' speeches, and one of them was good.
Yeah.
One of them was great, actually. And then one girl like was like rapped about the school, and you're like, I can't.
Yeah.
It's so bad, you know. And then they're all trying to be like, remember when we got here in 7th grade and we were wearing our
As I look
masks?"
out here today,
Oh
I see-
god.
we
And
we
then-
went home and quoted.
And you know what drove me the most crazy is that there was a retiring teacher who gave a speech. And I was
Oh.
like, I don't care that you're retiring. This isn't your moment
oh,
to
trying
but
to
that's
steal
at
the
least
show.
meaningful for that person. These kids won't remember.
but not
this.
for us. I don't know this
Yeah,
teacher.
let the
Yeah.
teacher have something.
No.
I'd rather the teacher than the, I don't know, the
That
salutatorian
teacher
of the
gets
8th
an
grade.
hour every day. That teacher gets 6 hours to talk every day
Those
to those
vintage
kids.
They get
teachers.
beaten up every day, and now they get a place of
love-
honor.
I
at
love teachers. Love
Yeah,
teachers.
yeah,
All right.
yeah.
I don't need to hear
He's
about
saying, would you give them? But you just go give them a moment and be like,
Exactly.
you don't got to talk.
we can
So
honor
he's saying
them.
like you could
How
go.
long are we talking? What's the speech like?
I mean, what did it feel like?
Yeah. I mean, if it's a 5-minute speech,
5 minutes is like, that guy's earned 5 minutes.
But
It-
what is
Right.
he? I know. But if you go honor him, you honor him. You
Yeah.
bring him out. It's a big thing.
Give him
Yeah.
a plaque
do
or
it.
something. Thank
go,
you for your
thank you
years
so
of
much
service.
for your
Yeah.
You do most of the talking.
Yeah.
You just celebrate him.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You know, and if he's got a
Aaron, you spoke for 60 seconds at your wedding.
yeah.
I think
That's about right. Thank you. This has
Yeah.
meant a lot to me. I devoted my life to education. I'm so thankful for this opportunity. Thank you.
Yeah, well, how long did
We've
it?
been
How long did
sitting-
I
this
think
guy
he should
talk?
get a minute for every year he'd been there.
There you go. There you
We've
go.
been sitting outside
Yeah.
for 2.5 hours
You
on
didn't say this is
on
outdoors.
concrete.
on cement.
I'm not
Mhm.
kidding. That
Mhm.
changes everything.
The outdoor thing.
The fact that you were outside, that
Yeah.
changes everything.
That person should be.
But is it shaded?
No.
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 Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do?
Ridiculous.
What are you
You're
gonna
like
do?
you're like ununionize the
Yeah.
teachers.
I was picturing in a gym or a
Yeah, we don't-
church or
they don't have
something.
a
No.
gym.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. In
Yeah.
church, that's how they do a lot of them.
that's how we did ours.
They move it to church.
Yeah, they did.
Oh, yeah.
This is
graduation
California.
Catholic
ceremony
school?
Yeah.
California, that's one of the
in the
questions, right?
cathedral.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That is it is a bit of a SoCal like flex, right? That even that they're like, well, we'll just do it outside.
Well,
Like,
'cause
that's
the weather.
The
is-
way it's
yeah.
a it's
Like
a
that's
given.
ever an option in May or June.
Yeah. 4
Yeah.
p.m. That would have been rough.
We
Yeah.
got I was always lucky with Bargatze. We were
I'd have been
Pretty
right behind
quick.
Oh,
you.
you were.
yeah.
Did your
Out
parents
of
leave
there,
after
man.
you got announced?
No. Now my high school I graduated 56 people,
yeah.
so it's not that's more
that's efficient.
yeah.
Yeah.
So we were never a big part of like the giant
Yeah.
high school graduation, but we went to my nieces and they're outside and you hear them go up and talk. And,
Right.
I don't know. It's like I think it's one of those you got to go like, hey, this is going to be.
This is
It's
a
a
day.
lot. It's
Yeah.
a day, and you accept it. And
Yeah, ours,
Mhm,
we both,
mhm.
we went to different high schools. We've been together, like we were high school sweethearts. We met like in church on a church youth group trip, but we went to different high schools, but we both had graduations because we had in the Tacoma Dome, which
Yeah.
if you play,
Mhm,
it's like a big
mhm.
dome.
Yeah.
That's how big it was. Like, hey, we got to get
Yeah.
this local arena to
Wow.
do,
Yeah,
I
I
don't
mean,
know.
what
I don't know
is
if
it,
you've
like
ever been in
5
an arena,
hours?
but
Yeah.
and it's a
You know
whole,
about
is
arenas?
it 5 hours?
Yeah.
I've heard about.
yeah.
Is it? How long is that?
I mean, 3 to 4 at least, plus
I know. and
driving.
I don't remember my parents complaining about
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
we're just different.
Did y'all like it though?
What's your maiden name?
Hoagland.
Oh, so you're right in the
Mhm.
middle.
Trying to ruin it.
Highland, right? Yeah. But what's your maiden name? What are we doing now?
Oakland.
Well, I mean, it depends
Yeah.
on what order she goes
Oh
in.
yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
that
Yeah,
was relevant. I'm
well,
sorry.
actually,
I was
my
like,
brother got
that was
a
on me.
bloody nose
Yeah.
at his graduation, his high school graduation,
Yeah.
and the
Yeah.
wrestling coach came to
Yeah.
help
Yeah.
because they pull
You know, some kids just get bloody noses.
Yeah.
We
Oh,
got one. Are you guys anybody? Is any bloody nosers in your life?
Not anymore. I used to get them.
yeah.
Yeah. You wake up, pillows all bloody.
Yeah. That's scary.
Yeah, that happened to me one time. I had a
First-
sleepover.
Signs of gout. It starts up top.
Yeah.
You didn't get that looked into. You wake up, you get it. Looks like The Godfather. You're like- you just get up and you're like, golly, I had one last
Yeah.
night, boy.
Mm.
It slept through it. Didn't even wake up. Yeah.
That's a
No.
sign of youth. That you're a good heavy sleeper. That you
Yeah.
could
Oh, yeah.
sleep through a bloody nose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we couldn't do it now because our CPAPs.
Because you're gonna
Just fill
drown.
up. Yeah.
Yeah.
That would not be good now.
No.
Do you guys fit that in a carry-on? Can you? When you travel?
You carry
Yeah.
yours everywhere, right?
Yeah, they
Yeah.
actually give you a.
Like a
I've
travel
never
one?
used it, but they just let you take it as an additional carry. Like
Mm.
a,
Oh,
that's nice.
Yeah, there's some kind of medical
I'm
exception.
Just
Man.
curious.
I just put
It's
it
an
in a-
oxygen tank behind it.
You got some liquids.
And
and a walker.
goes
and-
down the aisle. Excuse me.
I put it in the suitcase though. I don't want to carry it around
Yeah.
specifically.
That's good because it
Mhm.
was. You don't. I get mad when people got like extra gear, even if
Yeah.
they need. There's part of you like, yes, I understand, but also, I mean, do you?
Also, tighten up.
It's like
you
when
know what I mean?
well, we had this debate. We were flying out here, and when someone puts I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. When someone puts a guitar in the overhead bin,
We get a lot of that in Nashville.
yeah.
Uh-huh.
I mean, basically every flight there's a
Mhm.
musical.
What are your
instrument
thoughts on that?
there.
Because my instinct
Where
was
should
like,
that go on a Southwest flight?
that's taking up a lot of spots. But also,
it-
you
it
don't want to break
does.
your guitar.
Yeah, you can't check it.
Yeah.
You can't check a guitar; they just get
Mhm.
destroyed.
yeah.
So you have to
Uh,
hold on to it.
Nick Thune, comedian, Seattle.
Yeah.
He has a guitar. He'll get confrontational with it.
Yeah.
He enjoys it.
Yeah.
Nick would,
Yeah.
yeah.
He likes to come in and then just be like, I got a guitar, and he's gonna. I think you have to be willing to be a little confrontational, or at least
Yeah.
talk to everybody
Yeah.
because you have this guitar.
Yeah. I think you're right because it is annoying because there's limited seat. That's the big thing.
Yeah.
When
Mhm.
you're, especially when you're in those backboarding
Full
groups, you're
flight.
like, is there going to be?
Yep.
And so you walk
Mhm.
by, you're not sure, and you see a guitar taking 3 spots. I think you should have to declare like what you're bringing it for, and like the level of gig you're going to do, and then the
Yeah.
airlines
And
get to
then play a
determine
song.
whether or not it's worth. Yes,
Yeah. Yeah.
you have to prove
American
you can
Idol
play
style.
it,
Yeah.
and then the TSA gets to go. Okay, he can bring it.
Yeah, he can bring it. You should rent one. Just
And-
when
rent-
you land,
and-
go
Yeah.
rent a
Or
guitar.
Right.
and you should
Yeah.
quit.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I think we're about to wrap here, but I do have a gift for you.
Oh,
Yeah,
Oh,
so
pretty.
this was
Just for Nate.
just for
Yeah.
Nate.
Cute.
This
Sorry, guys.
Yeah,
Jeez.
but it
I
can
like
go. It can go up here. Well, this was it
You
was
have to
meant.
hang it.
No,
You
it
have
was.
to- I hope it goes like right there.
Yeah.
Okay, so-
It's
It was meant
Photo
to
of
be. Well, it kind of worked out nicely because we weren't sure when we were going to do this. We were going to announce it. But I was going to do a thank you for being out on the tour,
Yeah.
the Be Funny tour, which was incredible. The dates that I did, they were so fun. They're great. I'd say it's like comedy camp. It's so fun. And then just this, and then everything. I mean, I say all the time, you're like a mentor to me. I'm very grateful. And like this big
Thank you.
boost behind me. So, for context, we when we were in Springfield, there's a very kind of iconic comedian named Yakov Smirnoff.
Yes.
Who did you tell this on the pod? If you did, I missed
No.
No, we haven't seen him since then.
I
Okay.
didn't. Yeah, I didn't tell. I'll tell it here because I don't.
Yeah.
I don't. I always have the lights dark.
Yeah.
When I'm on stage, so like when I can never really see the crowd, I could barely see the front row, maybe a little neck down, maybe. I just can't really see the crowd. I like it dark because it's just easier to perform, not having to look at me.
Right.
This one show in Springfield, one show of my entire career, 10 years on the road, 10 straight years on the road. I've never asked for lights to be up. And this one in Springfield, I go, you know what? I was like, let me have the lights up a little bit. I was like, maybe I'll think I'll enjoy seeing people having fun and stuff like that. And I do it. And there's one spot where right when we do it, I get on stage. I have no warning. And I make a lap and I go, is that Yakov Smirnoff? And then I have to keep, because I'm in the round, so I'm circling. And so in my head, I'm like, and then I kind of come back around and I'm looking at him again. And you just kind of, so the whole show,
Yeah.
I'm like, is that Yakov Smirnoff? And I mean, he was lit up. It looked like
Yeah.
I asked, I'm like, hey,
Yeah.
Yakov's going to be there. Light him up.
Yeah.
And that's the only time I've ever asked for lights up. They've been down ever since. I've never had them up.
And of
since
all
then.
the comedians,
yeah.
it's
He was a wonderful dude. We all got to meet him. and
Yeah.
That guy was enormous.
Yeah.
Seinfeld opened for him.
Yeah.
That's how long he's been
Yeah.
doing it. And so he was doing Seinfeld was he was doing 3,000 seat theaters. This is back early 80s when they just didn't do theaters. He
Yeah.
was just that big of an act.
Yeah.
Great
Amazing.
So my son helped me track down this. My son, who's very into
There we go.
vintage items and very good at finding these right here. This is a gift to you. So we found this online. This
Wow.
This is
it's autographed?
It's autographed. This is from
Wow.
my son dates it to probably about 1988.
What a country.
Oh, Yakov Smirnoff. What a country.
What a country. And autographed.
And signed by
That's
Yakov
That is
Smirnoff.
unbelievable.
awesome.
How did you find
That
that?
is so cool.
Yeah.
Your son is good.
He's
Yeah.
very good.
Yeah.
I was like, hey, we're
Mhm.
looking for some
Yeah.
Yakov merch.
Yeah.
And we found it together, and he was like, and he dated it, and he's like, this is actually a good deal.
Yeah.
And he's like, he goes, whoever
We got a deal.
he goes,
Yeah.
who,
Yeah.
he goes, whoever's selling this right now can't believe this is actually being sold.
yeah.
Because that's the thing with vintage items. You have an item like this that you've had for years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then somebody's like, dude, I need some Yakov Smirnoff merch.
Yeah. And he's like, oh, man.
Yeah, for such a moment as
Yeah.
this. So
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
what a
awesome. Well,
country.
thank you. What a country.
Yeah.
Well, we're thanks for being a part of this.
Thanks.
I know you guys don't have to, and but we appreciate it. I think it's all building up into a nice, awesome thing, and we love seeing what you guys do. And we can't, wherever we're send over from to go listen, and
and
it's good.
likewise.
It's
Yeah.
fun. Yeah.
Yeah, sweet.
Awesome. Well, glad to have you.
Thank you for having us. It's an honor.
Thanks.
How do y'all get out of your podcast? Do you just say bye?
We go,
Is
that's
it-
it. We go, that's it. Bye.
Bye.
And then we throw our mics away.
Bye.
Bye. Nate Land is produced by Nate Land Productions and by me, Nate Bargatze, and my wife Laura on the Audio Boom platform. Recording and editing for the show is done by Genovations Media. Thanks for tuning in. Be sure to catch us next week on the Nate Land Podcast.